Assalamu alaikum. We continue today with the الآجرومية text. So last time we covered these marks for lowering the end of words in Arabic, these 3 marks. So now today we cover the 2 marks for jazm. Jazm means to cut. In grammar it means to have no movement at the end of the verb. So you would have this mark here, the mark for sukoon. Sukoon is calmness. So this is the mark for calmness, sukoon. So notice here, liljaz, this zai here, or does not have a movement, does not have an a, an u, or an e. The word jazm in grammar, it means the cutting of movement at the end of the present tense verb. There are 2 marks for this state of not having a movement. السكون والحذف. السكون, as I said, to quiet the end of the word, so no movement on it. Calmness, that's what sukoon is. الحذف is omission. So to show the state of jazm, you either omit a letter or you cut the movements. So here it says فأما السكون فيكون علامة للجزم في الفعل المضارع الصحيح الآخر. As for sukoon, this state of no movement, فيكون, it is exist or be in a mark. So فيكون علامة, it become or be a mark for the state of jazm, the state of having no movement, in the present tense verb, الفعل المضارع, الفعل verb المضارع. As I said, this word does not mean present, but it's used to indicate the present tense verb. الصحيح الآخر, meaning the present tense verb whose last letter is a consonant, it's not a vowel. So the state of sukoon is represented by this mark here in the present tense verb that have its last letter is a consonant. الصحيح الآخر, the end of it is صحيح, it's sound, it's not a vowel letter. So صحيح is sound. So that's what this text means. Now the second mark is حذف. We will cover in the next video inshallah. So we'll see an example of this state here, sukoon, and what causes it. So in this book مبادئ العربية, in page 190, I have these examples. I wrote here on each page that I'm using the name of the book and the page we are looking at. We have the link for it in the description. So here, this is the places where the جزم of فعل المضارع, مواضع جزم الفعل المضارع, the places in which the فعل المضارع goes under the state of jazm, meaning not moving the last letter of it. So there are some tools that cause this. So when you see a present tense verb, you recognize it as a present tense verb, like this word here. We notice the present tense letter at the beginning of it. We know this lam is for negation, it's a meaning letter. أحد here has nonation, so this is the noun. These tools here, lam, lamma, lamul amr. Lam is the name of this letter al, so that's what lam means. Al amr, command. So this lam is used to give a command. La الناهية, the la, it's a word, la الناهية, the forbidding la, which is you use it to forbid something. So this word la is used, you'll see it before a present tense verb. So these 4 tools, they will cause jazm for one present tense verb. So notice here you only have one present tense verb, and these tools will cause it to lose the movement at its end. So by default a present tense should have an u. Other tools we talked about will cause it to have an a sound if it's the end of it is a consonant, and in this case it will lose both of these. It will have no movement. So the way I would read this, لم يذهب. لم يذهب أحد. Nobody went. أحد body or someone. لم يذهب. He did not go. By itself لم يذهب if I'm answering a question or someone understand what I'm talking about, or I just أحد somebody. So nobody went. لم يذهب أحد. So notice لم يذهب. No u, no there. لم will move this present tense in the past. So this means in the past no one went. So this لم, that's the effect it has on the present tense. It moves it to the past. This means it's in the past. لما has the same meaning, only it means until now it's still, the case is still true. So here it says تعلم أخي القراءة. My brother learned reading. So this تعلم is a past tense verb with 5 letters. So this is not a present tense. So تعلم أخي القراءة, he learned reading. ولما يكتب, and he did not write. يكتب here, this is a present tense verb. ولما يكتب. So same thing in the past, but this لما here means until now. So it's true then and now. So in the past he did not write and now he is not writing. So that's the distinction between لما and لم. So here it says no one went in the past, but it does not say anything about the present. So that's the difference between لم and لما. لام الأمر, this L here at the beginning. Notice here, نحو means like. This is the L here. This is لام الأمر, لي. لتطب. So this لي is with the present tense. Notice this is a present tense verb. لتطب, they have the mark here. This is the sukoon here. It's not quite clear, it's a circle. It looks like that, but this is a circle, a small circle. So لتطب نفسك. So this here like a request. Let yourself be content, or content yourself. So be content, that's the meaning of this sentence here. لتطب. So this here present tense lost its movement at the end because of this commanding L, or the L is used to, when you attach this L to a present tense, that's the effect it has on it. لتطب. Notice it lost the movement. لا الناهية, this is here is a forbidding لا. You also use to command against something. So لا تيأس, do not despair or do not give up. من رحمة الله, from the mercy of God. In this context here it means men here is do not give up on the mercy of God. So لا تيأس. Notice this is a present tense verb. It lost its movement there because of this forbidding لا. Now this لا can be used differently. So you can have this لا making a statement, not forbidding. So you can say لا يأكل القط العشب. So this here is عشب. So لا يأكل القط العشب. لا يأكل, notice I said يأكل. This here, I'm not forbidding something. I'm just making a statement that the cat does not eat grass. So you see no effect. This is called نافية. It's a negating لا. نافية. تنفي is to negate, to say it's not the case. So that's a statement. But here, if I pause it, this is also in a third person. يأكل. That's the present tense. This ya here is a present tense letter for the third person. So here you're making a statement. But here, this ta is for the second person. You're giving a command. لا تيأس. But I can say that she does not give up on the mercy of God by saying لا تيأس من رحمة الله. Notice how I changed the short vowel at the end of the present tense verb. And the present tense letter in this verb is a ta, so it works for the third person singular feminine and the second person. So just be aware of the different uses of this la here. So these tools here, they affect one verb. So this is an example about this state of sukoon. So these marks, this is the mark of sukoon used with the present tense verb. Later, inshallah, we will discuss these tools when we come across them in the text we are studying. Notice this here is the beginning of the lesson, so you can check that if you like. So here we have more tools. This is 12 لفظة, 12 pronouncement or utterance. So some of these tools are called meaning letters, like this N here. And most of the rest are nouns, and the ends of most of them do not change, so they are fixed. So they're called nouns. So just be aware of the different terminology used to describe these tools. This will help you when looking into grammar texts. So some of these will be listed under conditional nouns because they are used with a conditional sentence, and some will be listed as letters. So under the tools that cause jazm, you have meaning letters and conditional nouns. And here you have examples of how they are used. Now these affect two present tense verbs. The first one is the condition you're stating, and the answer to that condition is the present tense verb. So you have two present tense verbs here. So in here, this N, notice the sukoon at this N, it's different than other N's. And it's light. So in texel, if you become lazy, texel, this is a present tense for laziness, texel, a verb. In texel, so in this condition of you being a lazy, تخسر, you lose. So in texel, you lose. تخسر is a present tense for losing. You lose, تخسر, because of this present tense letter used with the second person. So here you have two. This is another example. Notice the present tense verb lost the movement. There is no movement. So when you say it this way, it indicates this effect of this N here, this tool. إذ ما تتعلم تتقدم. This here they're pronounced together. إذ ما تتعلم. If you learn, this is a present tense. You learn, تتعلم. Notice this verb تعلم. You can see the other ta added for the present tense, تتعلم. So if you learn, تتقدم, you advance, تتقدم. You notice another present tense letter. So here they try to use you could have other words between them, but in this construction, they make it clear that the two present tense verb were affected by this tool here. And you can see the condition here. If you do this here, this will happen. So that's the statement that is made here. So in here, you can think of it as if. إذ you can think of it as in. So if. So إذ ما تتعلم, if you learn, تتقدم, you advance. Man is who. So in this context here it says who يطلب. So it's in general whoever seeks finds. So يطلب, to seek, to request something. So whoever asks, يجد, he finds. So these also are two present tense verbs. So you can see the sukoon here, or the absence of movement, caused by this man, who. Ma is like what? So it's used with unintelligent beings or things. And man is who? So it's used with intelligent beings or humans. So ما تتعلم في الصغر, whatever you learn in youth, صغر is youth or being young, ينفعك في الكبر. Notice here, the default is to say ينفع. But because of this tool here, and this, you're conditioning this state here, this being benefited. ينفع is to benefit. So this ka here is the object pronoun for the second person. So ينفعك, it will benefit you. So whatever you learn in the youth or in your youth, there is no your youth here, but it says in the youth, on the time being young. ينفعك benefits you in the adulthood. So when you're old, الكبر, that's the later age or being old. So what you learn at a younger age, you will benefit from at a later age. That's the way you can think of it. So notice the effect on the present tense verb. ما تتعلم. Usually I would say تتعلم, but because of this tool here, notice what happened. في الصغر ينفعك. Notice this ينفعك في الكبر. مهما here is whatever. So مهما تأمر بالخير أفعله. تأمر is you command. بالخير by good. In this context, whatever good you command, I do. So whatever good you command, I do. أي, whichever or whoever here. أيا تكرم أكرم. Whoever. أيا تكرم أكرم. Whoever you honor, I honor. So أيا تكرم. Notice here the narration on it. أيا تكرم. تكرم is to honor, show respect for someone. Notice it silenced the movement on the M here. This is a present tense. Here, the present tense letter is this A for the first person. So أكرم. So أيا تكرم أكرم. Whoever you honor, I honor. Now I can be used differently. So now in this context it means whoever, but it can mean any or which one. كيفما. However, تتوجه أتوجه. كيف is how. You can say كيف حالك, how are you. But كيفما is however. So however you direct yourself, تتوجه. I direct myself, أتوجه. Or face. However you face, I face. So this can be understood as direction. So whichever direction you direct yourself, I direct myself. Notice the present tense letter used, the ta, for the third person feminine singular and second person singular masculine. The rest here, same thing. I don't want to make this video too long, but this here is متى, أينما, أيانا, أن, حيثما. So متى here is when, أينما where, wherever, أيانا at any time, أن wherever. Same thing here, حيثما wherever. حيثما تسقط, تثبت. Wherever you fall, you stay fixed, تثبت. So notice the silencing at the end here of each one of these present tense verbs. So now these are just a quick review of these tools, and you can see it with the present tense. So that's the meaning of the text we just read here. So this here is the sukoon. فأما السكون فيكون علامة للجزم في الفعل المضارع الصحيح الآخر. So these all that we just discussed are for the present tense verb that is صحيح الآخر, that it ends has a consonant, and the mark used is the sukoon. Now you can see here, this is another page in the same book. They're discussing the nouns for condition or conditional nouns, أسماء الشرط. So notice here they listed 11 of these. In the text here that we just discussed, these 4 for one present tense, then you have these 12. So that's why I pointed out these called letters. But now here they discuss the same tools we just discussed under another heading. So أسماء الشرط, the conditional nouns. And they say it's أحد عشر, it's 11. Notice these are called nouns. So من, وما, ومهما, وإذما, ومتى, وأيانا, وأين, وأن, وحيثما, وكيفما, وأي. Now a quick note about إذما. You might see it listed as a meaning letter, not a noun in some texts. So just be aware of that. Here you have the letters for shart, tafsil and mazar. So they have a bunch of different meaning letters, but notice the first ones are أحرف الشرط. the meaning letters for our conditional meaning letters. So they listed these two here. We only used one of these, N. This N here is called حرف شرط, a meaning letter for conditional. This N. There is another tool, this لو here. You notice they're conditional. They're used differently, so this one does not have the same effect as this with the present tense. So just be aware of these differences and these names. So same tool can be used differently, and they have different names, but they have the same effect. Again, you don't have to focus too much on this. I'm just giving you an idea and resources to refer to later when you need them. So now you have them on a recording you can always look back to. So next time, inshallah, we will cover the next state of omission, this hadif here. We will see examples of that. Thank you for listening. See you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.